I severely underestimated how many mega Pokemon there were when I planned out this video. So a while back I ranked every legendary Pokemon by their Canon power, which was an absolute sleeper hit. And even though a mythical Pokemon ranking was by far the most requested topic, I figured since mega Pokemon are back in ZA and the DLC's dropping soon, there's no better time to rank every mega Pokemon by their Canon power. Full disclosure, I did buy a Nintendo Switch 2 as well as ZA itself, and I can't stress this enough, please don't buy this game. It's a $70 ripoff coming from one of, if not the biggest video company in the world. Buying the game and console was not only a disservice to myself, but the gaming community as a whole, and I hope you can forgive me. But since we're here, and no amount of complaining will get those $570 back unless this video gets about 60 to 70,000 views, we might as well get onto the actual video. There are 79 entries at the time that I'm saying this, with more likely on the way by the time I'm done editing this video. I'll be ranking every mega Pokemon individually by their Canon power. I won't be taking in-game stats into account whatsoever, because despite the fact that I've been playing Pokemon practically my whole life, I absolutely suck at the competitive scene. Like, I only semi-recently found out that moves like Sword Stance were worth running. So I'll only be looking at Pokemon lore, mainly in the form of Pokédex entries. I may occasionally look into other sources, but I haven't seen all of the anime, every movie, read all the manga, or played all of the games. Is that the most surefire way to rank 79 Pokemon, especially before the DLC actually comes out? No, definitely not. But surely we can all move forward knowing that fact, and no one, and I mean absolutely no one, will get mad at this silly little Pokemon ranking video. Right? Well, the YouTube algorithm waits for no one, so here we go. Tier list and final thoughts at the end of the video. Okay, so bottom spot goes to Kangaskhan. We'll inevitably get to some pretty hot takes, but I don't think many people will find this one too surprising. Kangaskhan as a regular Pokemon is noted to be a good mother who protects its kid at all costs. But Mega Evolving only slightly ages up the young Kangaskhan and allows it to fight alongside its mom. Is that technically an upgrade? Sure, but not much compared to what we have coming up. Audino is a slight step above, simply because of the fact that it does have some useful abilities that would be applicable to a fighting scenario. Audino has great hearing, able to sense one's heartbeat and emotions as well as hear a pebble rolling from a mile away. But it's also able to put other Pokemon to sleep instantly by touching them with its feelers, or sends out pulses that reduce the hostility of the Pokemon around. It's not much, but it's better than being slightly older. Ampharos has a whole lot of nothing to go off of here. It can produce light bright enough to be seen from space, so surely that's gotta amount to some level of power. And Mega Evolution brought its fluffy wool back, as well as awakened its dragon blood, whatever that even means. I've personally never thought of sheep as being descendants from dragons, but what do I know? Altaria is another example of just not having much to go with. It can sing pretty well, and its Mega is heavily protected by its thick coat of wings. And it can also sing better? I don't know, man. I'm working with what I got. Putting Sableye this low hurts my heart a little because he's one of my favorite Pokemon. While in its normal form, it hunts and eats Carbinks, but can be scared off by a Gibble. And like, yeah, they do grow to be pretty powerful. The fact they're stronger than a Sableye on average is pretty telling. There are stories of it stealing spirits or souls or whatever, but they're likely just stories. Mega Evolution made its chest jewel much larger and more powerful, said to be able to block and even deflect any attack. Unfortunately, the jewel is very heavy, and Sableye can't move around as quickly with it, and it's still vulnerable from every angle that isn't right behind the jewel. Like Audino earlier, Chimcho, whatever, also uses sound to its advantage, creating large sound waves that can launch attackers back. The sounds it makes can calm the souls of attackers as well as ward off evil spirits. These sounds can make those it's fighting forget what they're doing or even who they are for a time. And even if someone manages to beat it, the sound of breaking glass that plays when it faints leaves the attacker in a state of shock. I absolutely hate this design, it's so ugh. It's heavily implied that Starmie is some sort of alien with potent psychic powers, although the former is never confirmed. Starmie can send out radio waves to space, which can cause headaches to those nearby. Its Mega Evolution is just a bigger version with long ass legs. It does seem to get some sort of physical buffs though, since it sends out shock waves when it lands after bursting out of the water. With Beedrill, we start to get to slightly more powerful Pokemon who are explicitly stated to have more destructive capabilities in some form or another. Beedrill can fly at high speeds, and its stingers are said to be able to take out any opponent. Mega Evolution only makes it faster and its venom more potent, allowing it to release fast or slow acting toxins as it pleases, as well as giving it a big, long, huge, giant stinger. Nothing insane, but I feel like venom that can knock out most opponents gives the early game B a solid placement all things considered. Scrafty is surprisingly strong, capable of destroying concrete with a single kick, including Conkeldur's concrete pillars. It also has acidic spit because why not? There isn't a whole lot more on Mega Scrafty other than the rule of thumb that Mega Evolution makes Pokemon stronger than before across the board. His hood does become more durable, so there's that. Phalanx isn't a Pokemon I personally would have given a Mega Evolution to, but whatever. Every Pokemon is someone's favorite, but if this one's yours, maybe your opinion wasn't meant to be taken into account anyways.
Oh shit.
Phalanx is 6 total Pokemon working as one, the biggest taking the leader role. Their Mega takes a battle formation, transforming 2 of the Phalanx into a spear and shield respectively, and increasing the Pokemon's size in general. Mawil's teeth are actually steel horns that can chew through iron beams or even swallow opponents whole. Its Mega form grows another set of horns that grow in size and power. They can now turn boulders to dust with a single bite, which is definitely a problem since they move around and act as if they had a mind of their own, grabbing hold of Pokemon and tearing them apart with its 2 sets of jaws, which it should be able to do pretty reliably to every Pokemon below it. Lopunny is a bit higher than I would have initially expected. It's an extremely skilled fighter, specifically with its kicks. Its Mega form removes some of the fluffiness that used to get in the way of its fighting. It can now use its ears as whips that are strong enough to crumble steel plates. It's even more powerful and combative now, so it should be able to outmaneuver those below it while having the power to take them down. Pinsir is another surprisingly strong Pokemon since while it's in its Mega form, it can crush things with double the force of its own weight, so around 300 pounds, or 136 kilograms for you losers who use that one. You guys love that joke. Pinsir tries to tear Pokemon in half with its, pincers. It can split large trees in half with a single swing, fly around at 30 miles an hour, and even lift opponents 10 times its own weight, so 1,300 pounds. It does have a pretty big weakness to the cold though, since low temperatures render it practically immobile. This one might be a hot take, maybe. There isn't a whole lot of Barbaracle, Mega or otherwise. Its Mega form is composed of 11 total Binacle. It's pretty beefy, and its Mega form moves pretty quickly, attacking from multiple angles since every Binacle can move independently from one another, and they work as a sort of hive mind, so they can't be snuck up on since they can see every angle at all times. Dragalge has extremely potent poison that can melt straight through the hull of a tanker, which should mean it can easily eat away at all metals. Its Mega form only makes its poison more dangerous, as well as allowing Dragalge to use its poison on itself to regenerate pretty much anything. So here with Banette, we get to a different type of powerful Pokemon. While many on Here Out have destructive feats, high durability, or are really fast, which are all easily quantifiable, Pokemon like Banette and their ghostly abilities aren't quite the same, so bear with me and my interpretation of said abilities. Banette is simply stated to have the ability to curse others by opening its mouth, and its Mega Form's Pokédex description describes its curse powers as extraordinary, which is now spilling out from every part of its body. It could be a good bit higher or lower depending on the extent of these powers. With Houndoom, we get to a certain aspect of Mega Evolution that affects a good bit of Pokemon here. Houndoom, while Mega Evolved, is in constant pain and the heat its own body creates starts to melt itself. Pretty hardcore stuff. The pain caused by its flames never go away, and it's said to be able to turn its enemies to ash. Scolipede is the absolute best bug-type Pokemon, although Scizor and Volcarona are acceptable too, I guess. Scolipedes are extremely aggressive and get into territorial battles to the death with Centiskorch, which is extra impressive when considering the fact that Scolipedes have the type disadvantage and still win half the time. Centiskorch can shoot flames at around 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, which means Scolipede should be able to withstand flames at around that level. Its Mega form has powerful sword-like antennas and a boost to its poison, allowing it to kill pretty much anything it can inject its claws into. As much as I hate to put this fat loser over my goat Scolipede, Mega Victreebel simply has a lot more powerful poison at its disposal, allowing it to completely dissolve anything that gets into its mouth. Mega Victreebel uses its size and weight to jump on and crush most other Pokemon. Its body is overflowing with acid that can melt even concrete and steel, but can fan the fumes towards others to immobilize, then eat them. Here's another possible hot take. Aside from the fact that Ash's Pikachu is on a god level of power sometimes, Raichu isn't all that powerful, and the same goes with the little we know about Mega Raichu X and Y. At least at the time that I'm scripting this. Raichu absorbs electricity from the atmosphere with its tail, and can shoot it out as electrical bolts. This electricity is specifically stated to top out at around 100,000 volts, which is like, whoa, big number, but realistically, this is a voltage pretty much every other electric-type Pokemon can reach, making the Mega Raichus ultimately pretty unimpressive. Mega Raichu X can control electromagnetic forces, and stores electricity in its fat to maintain it, and attacks with its fists, while Mega Raichu Y tends to use all of its power all at once to end fights quickly. This is Meganium, and by extension, Chikorita slander, by the way. Meganium, like Chimeco and Audino earlier on this list, can calm Pokemon of their aggressive feelings. It can revive dead plants and flowers, and feel changes in the weather. Its Mega is stated to be physically stronger, as well as having a particularly powerful Solar Beam, but to what degree isn't specified. Replace Chikorita with Turtwig, and ZA would have had a banger starter lineup.
Bon voyage! C'est incroyable!
And Incrediboy!
Aerodactyl is somehow the only fossil Pokemon with a Mega Evolution. It can shred the Pokemon it catches since its teeth are similar to saw blades. He's another guy that's in constant pain from Mega Evolution, which only adds to its viciousness. The rocks on its body are harder than diamonds, which add to its defense and offense since it can ram these up against opponents. Manectric is Hoenn's dog Pokemon, who young me used to think was a peak Pokemon design. I can only speak for its base form, and not the absolute monstrosity that is its Mega Evolution. Manectric spawns in thunderclouds when entering a battle, which again sounds cool but isn't out of the ordinary for many electric-type Pokemon. Like Raichu earlier, it also collects energy from the atmosphere, too much even, since once again Mega Evolution is extremely painful for it. What puts it here is its newfound speed, now set to be as fast as a lightning bolt. Pokemon scaling has always been a little shaky, to say the absolute least, especially in its speed, but taking this at face value would make Manectric's movement speed at massively hypersonic, or around 270,000 miles an hour. Fastest so far in movement speed, but Pokemon react to lightning all the time. Slowbro's lazy and dumb and can't even feel pain because of Shelter's poison. While Mega Evolved, Shelter becomes large enough to completely cover Slowbro and is now impenetrable. I don't like taking statements like this at their word. If you've seen any of my other videos, then you'd know I hate no limit fallacies, and saying Slowbro is now completely invincible is kinda silly. Shelter's digestive juices do make Slowbro stronger all around, however, but I don't think it has the power to reasonably put it any higher. Venusaur also doesn't have too much going for him, unfortunately. Its flower attracts and calms nearby Pokemon, but it also takes in sunlight, which directly powers it. It does become physically more powerful during its Mega Evolution to support its giant flower's weight. Why is Venusaur higher than Meganium despite having a similar sounding Pokédex entry? Because he's way cooler, obviously. But at least we get something sorta tangible with it becoming stronger to support the flower statement, which Meganium doesn't have. Skarmory's a steel flying type with feathers so sharp they've been used as swords and knives throughout Pokemon history, and being covered by steel obviously gives it a bit of built-in armor. Mega Skarmory can now fly faster than the speed of sound, using the shockwaves caused by breaking the sound barrier offensively to knock Pokemon down and finish them off with its talons. Electros is an electric type, so it should be capable of some of the impressive sounding feats of some of the previous entries on this list. But its Mega is set to become 10 times more powerful. We just don't have an exact base number to work with, so we just kinda have to come to our own conclusion on just how powerful that makes it. But it is capable of one-shotting Wailord, so it must be pretty strong. It also has False Electric made out of mucus, which some people in the Pokemon universe use for workout and beauty regimens, which I'd say is pretty crazy, but I've seen people do crazier things in real life. Absol is essentially Pokemon's version of Mothman the way it shows up right before disasters, but it doesn't cause them. Absol has an intimidating aura, Pokemon's words, not mine, that can knock out or straight up kill the faint-hearted when they look at it. Mega Absol's wings can flop and blow this aura at others. Having an insta-win ability is obviously useful, but it depending on the mental fortitude of your opponent isn't super reliable. Medicham meditates for long periods of time and even starves itself to increase its psychic abilities. It can see the auras of other beings, sense their thoughts, and even foresee their actions. And it fights with dance-like movements. While Mega Evolved, it turns its own willpower into physical force, sprouting multiple arms. The more willpower, the stronger these arms become. It's likely the best fighter on this list so far, and Foresight is obviously a pretty powerful ability. Feraligatr is my personal favorite starter from both Johto and ZA. Still replace him with Greninja though. It can move at blinding speeds, but how fast that makes it exactly, I'm unsure. Mega Feraligator's bite force from its extra jaw is 10 times as strong. We don't know how strong base or Mega Feraligator's bite force is, but a large alligator peaks out at around 3000 psi. So at an absolute bare minimum, Mega Feraligator's bite force should be around 30,000 psi, which is strong but not nearly enough to even crush steel. Doubling or tripling the bite force because he's obviously stronger than a real alligator does put him around the force needed, but still ultimately not enough to hang with the Pokemon above him. Scizzor's entire body is made of steel. Its steel claws can crush and beat down anything, and its body is stated to be unfazed by most attacks. While Mega Evolved, it can grab hold of anything and tear them to shreds. But while in this form, Scizzor begins to overheat and melt, so it can't hold this form for long. Heracross is this high up because of how physically powerful it is. Its Mega form is able to toss others up to 500 times its own weight. Mega Heracross weighs 138 pounds, so that means he can lift and throw 69,000 pounds. For reference, that's 6 adult African elephants stacked on top of each other. Clefable being at this spot might be a bit of a surprise because of its extremely timid nature, running away right when it senses people nearby. It does have extremely acute hearing though, being able to hear a pin drop from half a mile away. But its Mega Evolution gains the ability to control gravity within a 32-meter radius. Its wings are simply decorative because Mega Clefable can't fly, it just makes itself float with the power of moonlight. How powerful this ability is obviously would change exactly where Clefable ranks here. Pidgeot is surprisingly impressive. It can fly at over Mach 2 as well as destroy large trees and cause windstorms just by flapping its wings. These feats seem pretty casual for Pidgeot, so it stands to reason that it can do this at any given time. And the fact that it's one of the faster Pokemon on this list should allow it to reasonably blitz most opponents with its powerful moves. Excadrill can quickly drill through any metal, whether it's dirt, iron, or steel, no matter how thick it is. It can reach up to 90 miles an hour. Its Mega Form's description states that it can drill through anything, but again, surely there's a limit. Its ability to zoom around underground gives it a solid getaway, as well as AP high enough to drill right through most Pokemon below it. The Wall is a big steel tank that can destroy steel tanks. Its horns are powerful enough to dig through any material, even bedrock. So it stands to reason that his body is stronger than even that. But this isn't Minecraft. Bedrock is most certainly breakable. Aggron takes over entire mountains and claims it as its territory, although I don't think that automatically makes it mountain level or anything like that. Mega Alakazam has the strongest future sight out of the Pokemon here that share the ability, which I've kinda glossed over before, but is obviously an insane ability to have that closes the gaps between Alakazam and other Pokemon that may be physically stronger, or have more powerful destructive abilities. Alakazam does get a solid amp to its psychic powers, but does become weaker physically. He's also one of the smartest Pokemon with an IQ of 5,000, making it smarter than pretty much everyone. Metagross is a pseudo-legendary and is likely the smartest Pokemon on this list. Base Metagross has 4 brains, making it smarter than a supercomputer, but its Mega Form is said to be even smarter than that, likely double the intelligence since it's 2 Metagross together. It uses its brains to calculate every possibility in a battle on the fly, becoming, and I quote, "so cruel it makes you want to cover your eyes." But Metagross can still lose, resorting to grabbing hold of its enemy and blowing up when it knows it can't win, like a sore loser. Drenpaw is considered to be a kind Pokemon that loves kids, but if it's angered, it can go on rampages that leaves entire towns destroyed, by either flattening everything or using its intense breath. Mega Drenpaw can manipulate the atmosphere to summon large storms. Salamence gets some points due to the fact it's a pseudo-legendary, despite the fact that there isn't a lot here. Bagon dreamt of flying one day and just sprouted wings due to its sheer will. It becomes uncontrollable when angry and starts burning everything around. Mega Evolution made it even faster and sharpened its wings, cutting trees in 2 as it flies. But while the fraud later on this list Dragonite is fueled by kindness, Salamence is fueled by its own brutality. Dragonite's low ranking might be straight up blasphemous to Pokemon fans. Dragonite is stated to be a kind Pokemon that leads those lost at sea ashore and saves drowning people, but that doesn't really apply to fighting. It can circle the globe in 16 hours, which puts it around Mach 2, and it can fly straight through storms no issue. Mega Evolution just makes it kinder, I guess. A Dragonair in the manga zapped a town, so a Mega Dragonite should be well above that level of power. Sharpedo is the big bully of the Pokemon Ocean with a bad temper. Even worse while Mega Evolved because he, like many others before on the list, is in constant pain and suffering. Sharpedo drinks water and shoots it behind him to swim at around 125 miles per hour. It grew sharp spikes that it uses offensively, which can regrow instantly when broken off, just like his teeth. But what really puts Sharpedo this high is its ability to destroy Super Tankers. These things are huge. It's possible that they don't just one-shot these ships, but taking them out at any capacity is impressive enough to put them at this spot. Hawlucha being this high may be surprising, but its Pokédex entry states that it can keep up with the likes of Hariyama and Machamp while in its base form. Machamp being especially impressive since it's able to move mountains with a single arm, and the guy has 4. I will say that the Pokédex is known to heavily exaggerate at times, and this is likely one of those times. Even if we say that it takes all 4 arms to pull off a feat like this, Hawlucha contending at all is a feat in itself. I don't think that makes them equals or super relative in strength though, as it does say that Hawlucha uses his speed and skill in submissions like he's John Jones. Did I get it right this time? Although his tendency to go for flashy finishing moves does get him into trouble at times. Abomasnow can cause entire blizzards just by shaking its body, which calculations by people smarter than me put at city level on a high end. It's also physically powerful, destroying boulders with a single swing. He does become extremely large and slow while Mega Evolved, becoming nearly immobile, but in return his defenses are raised, likely able to take on a similar level of power that he outputs. Swampert makes it here due to its physical strength. While swimming, it can tow large ships while in its base form and easily shatter boulders. Mega Swampert becomes much stronger than this, filling itself with air to further increase its strength and the force of its punches. Base Swampert does still need to protect itself from storms, so it's certainly not invincible. Sceptile's Pokédex description states that its power is without equal in the jungle, which at the very least should put it above the previous 2 grass starters. I know I said I don't like to take the Pokédex 100% at its word, but it does make sense when you take into account the different roles that they play. Meganium and Venusaur attracting Pokemon with their flowers, and Sceptile being more of a fighter with its grass blades that are able to slice through thick trees. Mega Evolution also gave it a missile Christmas tree of doom for a tail, and quickly regenerates after each use. Gallade is the lesser of Corellia's split evolution, but still gets a respectable spot in the ranking. Gallade is a master swordsman who uses his elbows as swords, which are stated to be naturally sharper than the finest man-made swords. He can sense what others are thinking, and Mega Evolution reshaped his swords to be even more dangerous than before. Gallade's skill and AP, as well as its mind reading and future sight, should comfortably give it this spot. I'm just gonna rank Camerupt and Pyroar here together, since they're here for similar reasons. Or the exact same reason, actually. They can both spew fire that's hotter than the surface of the sun. 18,000 degrees in fact, which is the same temperature as a Magcar Go because Game Freak just likes throwing that number around whenever they get the chance, I guess. Mega Camerupt has this 18,000 degree magma running through its body and constantly spewing out the volcano on its back, while Mega Pyroar's main and general fire breathing reaches this temperature. Base Charizard is able to melt 10,000 pound glaciers with its fire, as well as still burn hot 4,600 feet in the air. That's nearly 2 times the height of the world's tallest building, by the way. Charizard split Mega Evolutions are the only ones here that I won't be ranking together. Mega Charizard Y gains speed and maneuverability. The Pokédex compared it to a fighter jet. Taking this at face value would put Charizard at over Mach 2. Although there aren't many statements that put Charizard's fire at the same temperature as the sun, its speed and skill in the air puts him above the ones right below him. Glalie is similar to Abomasnow, but just a bit better in most categories. It can freeze moisture in the air into any shape as well as instantly freeze any and all foes it comes into contact with. Base Glalie would then just eat them, but the power of Mega Evolution broke his jaw so it can't eat anymore. Blizzards constantly spew out of Glalie's open mouth, causing whiteouts in nearby towns. Glalie's body can't be melted and acts as ice armor, giving it a leg up on the last few entries. Baxcalibur is another pseudo-legendary with a pretty powerful ability to instantly freeze anything including lava. It can use its frost breath to launch itself towards enemies and slice them up with its dorsal blade. Mega Evolution made Baxcalibur stronger and faster. Specifically, its reactions are faster and its blade is able to slice through virtually anything. Delphox is yet another Pokemon with future sight by peering into its stick. It can control fire telekinetically, which can reach up to 5,400 degrees. Mega Delphox can almost hypnotize others with its fire, and then incinerates them with a massive fireball. Blaziken was the trailblazer for the following 2 generations of firefighting type starters. He can jump 30 stories in a single leap. The fire on its wrists burn hotter when facing stronger foes. Mega Blaziken's legs combust with flames due to the speed he kicks. The hotter his flames get, the stronger and faster he becomes. Blaziken's skilled, fast, and kicks with pretty insane force, only becoming stronger when facing someone stronger than itself. I accidentally deleted this part of the script and I deleted my notes document. Chestnut is another big tanky boy. The Pokédex says he can flip a 50-ton tank and withstand the force of a bomb. This isn't too specific though, so that feat can range anywhere from a hand grenade to the SAR bomb. I'd be willing to bet it's closer to the latter just because of the sheer absurdity that is Pokemon. Couldn't stop an Oblivion Wing though. Mega Chestnut can use its shield to make a weapon, putting its AP around its level of durability. This might be yet another hot take, but these guys are frauds, at least when it comes to legendary Pokemon. These two are on the stronger end when it comes to Pokemon overall, but not even close to the other legendaries. They've lost 1v1s to non-legendaries like Hydreigon, who should have definitely had a Mega Evolution, possibly the fastest on this list, which gives them a huge edge over the others below them. Latios can sense emotions and reflect light to become invisible, while Latios can also sense emotions and send images into the heads of others. Mega Latios and Latios become stronger. They even had a showing of canceling out a blast from the Creation Trio with the help of Mega Rayquaza and Pikachu, but I'm pretty skeptical and don't believe that this puts them at universal levels of power. Pokemon scaling is very weird, so I'm trying to mostly stick to Pokédex entries here. Greninja is my personal favorite starter, and is also one of the most skilled Pokemon on this list. Its tongue can sense enemies that it can't see, as well as wrap people up just the way your mama likes it. Its water shurikens are sharp enough to slice right through steel, and Greninja can just spam this ability in rapid succession. And that's just base Greninja. Mega Greninja gains a larger shuriken that he can ride on or hang off from to surprise enemies from above. It's presumably stronger too. It's also stated to have faster reflexes than before. Lucario can read auras and weaponize them, sending them forward in waves powerful enough to destroy boulders. Mega Lucario has a heartless fighting style since Mega Evolution awakened its combat instincts. Lucario does have a lot of showings that are pretty inconsistent, losing to a Greninja here, fighting a Gigantamax Machamp there, so this spot will have to do. Emboar is a skilled fighter who gets happier and stronger the more dire a situation is. Mega Emboar gets the ol' 18,000 degree treatment for his beard and spear. His mastery over fighting moves tied in with the fact that he can throw flames at temperatures hotter than the sun gives him this spot. Gengar can enter and see from different dimensions, and then appear from anywhere. The Pokédex states it's brimming with strange power. Mega Gengar tries to curse or kill anyone, including its own trainer. But what puts Gengar up this high is its ability to steal life force, which I imagine is extremely hard to defend from, no matter how durable you are. That mixed in with its ability to disappear to a different dimension where you can no longer directly interact with it. Frostlass has the ability of a few of the previous ice types where it can freeze pretty much anything instantly. What puts her higher though is her ability to freeze and eat souls. It prefers to eat the souls of men or just keeps them as frozen decorations. Mega Frostlass can freeze practically anything, including intangible things like wind, fire, and of course the aforementioned souls. Which again, how do you even defend from that? Third ghost type with soul powers in a row. Chandelure can hypnotize others by waving its fire around. It can also burn the souls of its enemies and leaves the body behind, giving it a pretty reliable insta-win ability. Mega Chandelure turns hatred from either itself or its surroundings into power. One of its eyes links the world into the afterlife, which is cool, I guess. With these last 3 ghost types, they have pretty reliable ways to win, but they don't have many physical feats of strength or durability. This list isn't an end-all be-all. There's just a lot of different Pokemon with lots of different abilities with different outcomes depending on the specific matchup scenario. You know what's better than freezing or burning souls? Axans. Garchomp can fly at the speed of sound and destroy trees as it flies or slice them up with its wings. Mega Evolution melted its wings into size and increased all of its physicals, specifically its attacking power. It can slice the ground up to pieces, which again is admittedly vague. Either he can stab the ground or a swing from his arm will annihilate the battlefield. But I'm going with the second one because Garchomp is really cool and my opinions are objectively correct. But if you have a problem with that, you can meet me outside of the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in the streets of Brentwood, California, so you can beat my ass. Mega Charizard X has the same abilities as Mega Charizard Y, minus the speed and maneuverability of a fighter jet. Charizard X has more firepower than Y, its fire burns blue and hotter, and its physical strength is increased as well. And it fought base Mewtwo that one time, and I think that's kinda cool. Base Blastoise uses its jets to propel itself forward for high-speed tackles. These tackles have the force of a rocket behind them. Each jet can punch holes through thick steel 160 feet away. Mega Blastoise's extra jet has the power of a tank gun, but can shoot from over 6 miles away, which is double the distance a tank can shoot from, and it can easily withstand the force of the recoil. It goes without saying that its jet tackles have much more power than before, and it stands to reason that Blastoise can take this amount of force as well. Malamar may be a huge shock to have this high up on the list, but it easily has the strongest hypnotic mind powers here. The Pokédex literally saying it has the most compelling hypnotic powers out of any Pokemon. It can force anyone to do exactly what it wants by swinging its tentacles and moving the pattern on its torso. Malamar has been behind some history-changing events in the Pokemon universe. Those in controls lose their memory of the time they go under. That's just base Malamar, by the way. Mega Malamar gets even more powerful and can completely rewrite anyone's mind, whether it be their personality or memories to control them. It's even smarter than before too, and becomes even more powerful by putting its tentacles on its brain. Not the absolute strongest physically, but it doesn't matter when you're under its control from the jump. Now we get to the big boys. Steelix's body is harder than any metal. Mega Steelix becomes even stronger, but does now move very slowly. Its body is impenetrable, can resist any temperature, and gains metallic pieces that rotate magnetically around its body. They position themselves to defend Steelix at all times. He's also just really big, over 35 feet long and nearly 2,000 pounds, which is a lot obviously, but like a saltwater crocodile gets heavier than that. Game Freak is just really weird with determining Pokemon weights. In terms of physical power and durability, Steelix is easily one of the most powerful Pokemon on this list. Gyarados is the second largest Pokemon on this list, at 21 feet long. It can destroy entire cities on its own while enraged. Mega Evolution made it even more violent and even more powerful. It can move faster than the speed of sound, and simply fly through and destroy large ships. A genuinely terrifying Pokemon. Tyranitar is stated to be completely impervious to damage. It can destroy entire landscapes with just one of its hands, destroying mountains and burying rivers as it sees fit. Mega Tyranitar's back split open from all the extra power it's gained from Mega Evolution. Although there's a lot of Pokemon who got fucked over by Mega Evolution and either can't completely control their powers or are just constantly in pain from it, no Pokemon other than Tyranitar has had the excess power straight up eject from its body. Although I could be reading into it just a little too much. Gold medal for non-legendary or mythical Pokemon goes to Gardevoir. Well, kinda. Gardevoir can see the future and create black holes. That's it. That's why she's here. Mega Evolution only increased her psychic powers exponentially. With the physical manifestation of her heart now open, her future reading and black hole creation should be much stronger than before. And Gardevoir isn't affected by gravity at all, so creating a black hole isn't some kind of double-edged sword. Zeraora is the fastest Pokemon on this list and can pack a pretty mean punch. It's said to run as fast as lightning, putting its movement speed at 720,000 miles per hour or Mach 938. Mega Zeraora's lightning has the power of 10 lightning bolts. One lightning bolt has 100 million to 1 billion volts, maxing out its power at 10 billion volts per attack, easily taking out groups of enemies with a single strike. Mewtwo stays completely motionless to preserve energy and go all out in battle. There are a few different Mewtwo's throughout the Pokemon franchise with a pretty wide range of power. A lot of people mention the world-ending Mewtwo from Mewtwo Strikes Back, but that would only destroy humanity, and that itself doesn't put Mewtwo at planetary levels. Base Mewtwo is able to tangle with Deoxys, who fights Rayquaza on the regular. Mega Mewtwo X is more physically powerful, sprinting 100 meters in 2 seconds, and gripping with a ton of force. It also tangled with 50% Zygarde, who should be relative to Xerneas and Yveltal. Mewtwo Y's mental powers are increased and can destroy skyscrapers with a single thought. Spoilers for ZA, just in case, skip here to avoid them. I had the idea for this video well before finishing ZA, and I heard Floette was getting a Mega Evolution, so I assumed Floette would be somewhere at the bottom 5. Oh. Mega Evolution is specifically tied to AZ's Eternal Flower Floette, a Floette who was revived and inadvertently granted immortality by the ultimate weapon. The Eternal Flower holds power likely comparable to the ultimate weapon itself. The weapon holds the power of Yveltal or Xerneas, the gods of life and death in the Pokemon universe. Mega Evolution gave the flower a mind of its own, now able to attack by itself. That's as far as I'll be going though. No kaiju-sized Hyper Rogue Angie Floette. I didn't realize how strong Diancie was until researching for this video. It was the only Pokemon able to cancel out Yveltal's Oblivion Wing, which was insta-killing every Pokemon that it hit. It can compress carbon in the air with its hands to create diamonds, which takes about 800,000 PSI to do. Diancie used these diamonds to defend itself, or it uses them to create diamond swords. A single Moonblast was able to push back both Groudon and Kyogre in the manga. Mega Diancie's showings against Yveltal propels it to the 3rd spot. Rayquaza probably has some of the most feats out of any Pokemon, bar for like Pikachu. Base Rayquaza is able to solo Groudon and Kyogre, whose fights can destroy the entire planet if left unchecked. It's whooped on Deoxys, who was putting the belt on Mewtwo in the manga. Rayquaza can Mega Evolve on command, then go and destroy Grand Meteor Delta, an asteroid that was on its way to destroy the planet, and Mega Rayquaza just casually annihilated it. It can also change the weather on command. Like Latias and Latios earlier, it did have a feat of cancelling out a blast from the Creation Trio, but like I said before, this seems more like an outlier than anything else. Zygarde takes the top spot. I know Zygarde versus Rayquaza is a bit contentious, but 50% Zygarde is comparable to Xerneas and Yveltal, so 100% Zygarde should be double their power. Mega Zygarde fought and defeated Hyper Rogue Angie Floette, who was going to destroy Lumio City, but regular Zygarde has had scaling to much more powerful Pokemon like Ultra Necrozma, who was absorbing all the light from an entire universe and soloed groups of legendary Pokemon, one of which included Rayquaza himself. Zygarde should also scale to its speed, putting it at faster than light speeds easily. And again, that's just regular Zygarde. Mega Evolution usually brings stats up, so it should be much stronger than even that. Its chest laser can destroy pretty much everything. Mega Zygarde gets a signature move, Nile Light, or Light that returns to nothing, which is the 2nd coolest name for a Pokemon move. This move ignores stat changes and any type of immunity a Pokemon would have to it. The lore-based reason is that Zygarde literally bypasses nature with its unmatched power. Mega Zygarde is the most powerful Mega Pokemon. Thanks for watching another ranking video. Here's the tier list I mentioned and some unscripted rambling. Okay, so here's the tier list I mentioned. Do let me preface this whole thing by saying that out of any video that I've made, specifically like my rankings, this is probably the one that you should take the least seriously. Not that you should be taking any of my videos too seriously, because unlike all those other rankings, including like my legendary Pokemon ranking, where each one is pretty much an individual, you know, there's like, you know, more or less one Mewtwo, more or less one Rayquaza, more or less one Zygarde. With the rest of these guys, there's like dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions of each individual Pokemon, so you can get like a Heracross, one individual Heracross, like way up here, and then another one way down there, which is why I was trying to like really stick to the Pokédex entries, especially in Pokemon where like the power of friendship or believing in yourself or whatever is an actual amp and gets you like higher than you would be otherwise. But I feel like more or less this is kinda sorta where they go. Like I said though, you can get individual Pokemon like way up there and vice versa. More often than not, like you probably shouldn't have a Beedrill, you know, beating a Garchomp 9 times out of 10. Anyways, this video is really just for fun, but I'm always down to discuss anything, so you can always comment down below, and I really do like read most comments and reply to most of them too. Or you can join my poorly managed Discord. But anyways, thumbnail by Something in the World. His Twitter's down in the description as per usual. Next video is the Hawkins Kids versus Pennywise, so subscribe to see when that's out, and I'll see you guys later.